like it was a good time to start doing them again. I don't know exactly how this all works. I invited another friend to see if the online invite a friend. I don't know. Go live together. I don't know if we'll have anyone join us, but if we do, hey, everyone's talking about snow. We're probably going to get 3 feet. Let's talk about Porsche or anything else other than snow, because that's all anyone's talking about these days. So, where do we begin? Well, interestingly enough, the Porsche that we just got, right, was pretty much complete. We're missing some parts, but we should be getting them over the next couple weeks, which is really exciting. Behind me is the original tool bag. This is the original tool bag from a 68 Porsche 911. What is up, Colleen? How are you doing tonight? So I'm going to try to start doing live streams again on Saturday nights. Probably around 9, 10 o'clock. Probably closer to 10 o'clock. Because everyone's asleep, except for me, for the next 4 hours. So it works out well. So I just got a text message from someone that I invited. I don't know how this works. We might be able to get someone else to pop in here, which would be awesome. Because with the vertical recording here, we can do we can invite people through the actual magic of YouTube. I guess I don't know. What is up, buddy? How you doing? So we have some really cool things, and I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but right there is that's 4 boxes full down there. Another one down there is almost full. And that's all like gaskets, bearings, bushings, and all that fun stuff. And then over there is the engine components to a Porsche 911. We don't have everything, but we have our oil pump. We have tensioners, tubes and whatnot. We're missing a few parts, like I said. But look at this, guys. This is a vintage Porsche. Most of the engine's sitting right here. We have the actual engine right here. The instructions sort of there. The look at how clean the 68 transmission. This has never been opened up, never been messed with. Freaking wild, guys. We have a Porsche to put together. So yeah, as the title would say, let's not talk snow. Let's talk. Oh, I forgot my water upstairs. Oh well. I'll survive. So yeah, guys, how have you been? Are you excited for 2026? We have a lot of work to do. We have Supra stuff. We have Porsche stuff, square body stuff. We might be doing something with an LS. We might not. We have sponsors, partnerships with the channel now. So if you, I don't know if it came up and said, hey, there might be a partnership in here. We have some great companies that I've reached out to, and some companies that have reached out to us to do different types of promotional stuff. Starting with a company I'm going to be using to do the custom exhaust work for the Porsche. Directly to Send Cut Send, and they can make you anything you need, right? So if you need flanges or something like that, I'm going to be doing block off plates. Certain block off plates you can just 3D print, but if you can't 3D print them, Send Cut Send's awesome. It's American. I think they're an Ohio American run company. Some of the companies we're partnering with, I've had really good experience with, and they're not American. And I'm at the point where I got to balance cost and customer service. So people that companies I have dealt with that have phenomenal customer service. So Send Cut Send. If you guys never use them, I use them for actually I can show you something. One of my products is a transmission kit, housing kit right here. Soapy water right there. We got these right here are made right from Send Cut Send. I send them a file, and they cut these out. Now these are purchased by my own money, but I really like the product. It comes vacuum sealed, really, really nice. It's laser, I don't know, plasma cut or whatever. And that's our transmission kit. So if you're trying to put an Allison transmission inside of a square body, that kit right there, you just weld it together and it goes right in. It's pretty nice. Other things we'll be doing, like flanges for a custom-made, like I said, custom-made exhaust. It's going to be really awesome. The other cool thing is, say you have an EGR, you don't want to block that off. It's not on like a plastic intake manifold, but it's right on somewhere. It gets really, really hot. You can send them the file, they'll laser cut it. 2 days. Every time I've ordered something for one of my products, Send Cut Send has it to me in 2 days. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, there's another company that I use for crazy things, actually. I'll show you. It's this right here is the superchargers out of the Super right now. This right here is my design. In fact, you can see that's the POS that I had a company made. Terrible. Welds look like crap. Didn't put a thermostat in it. Right? Horrible. But this was my design right here. 3D printed out of just plastic to make sure it fit. And then this right here is laser printed at the like micron level. This is my water crossover tube for the 1UZFE. CNC 6061 T4 aluminum with a Porsche thermostat, or bypass. So for that type of stuff, I've been using a company called PCBWay. They're located somewhere in China, I think. I don't know. But I tried getting that part made in our country, and it was really frustrating. I reached out to a bunch of machine shops, and a lot of them take like 2 months before they even got back to me, and it was like $4,000 to have it made, which was crazy. So I decided, you know, I'll try out PCBWay, and it ended up being really good. And so that was one of the things that we actually partnered up with. But I've had a lot of parts made for my own products, my own projects. Let's see, Joykep. I don't know if I said that right, but Lunar, my man, I hit you up with my emails, but suppose that with your current family situation, projects probably been busy. I won the car, buddy, a few months ago. I have had a couple of them. Do me a favor, resend me an email. I'll check my spam. Um, but if you slip through the cracks, I will get one for you. Not a problem. Theodore, Central California, watching. Joe Kip says, but since I'm in Mexico, I was considering an option, but don't worry, I'm patient. Yeah, just reach out to me. I'll have to see if I might have also sent it to you, and it may just not made it to you. I've had a lot of things lost by the post office, and then it's a process of getting the insurance all dealt with. So if you won something, I'll make sure I get you what you won. But yeah, I make custom banjo bolts for the Atlas 4200, and they've lost 3 of those. Let's see. But at the end of the day, I'm really excited to be talking about the fact that it's crazy that I own a Porsche now. It's in pieces, but I mean, what child didn't have a little Hot Wheels car of a Porsche? You know what I mean? They are the pinnacle of like winning races when I was a kid. I don't really like them after they get into the 90s, late 90s, especially when they get off of the air cooled. I prefer the long hood, especially the short wheelbase, which we end up getting a long hood, short wheelbase, last of the short wheelbase. And the body's very solid. We'll be doing a whole video on it. I have some recording from when we were up there. We were it was 4 hours away ish. So we were expecting weather. And actually, by the time I got home, we had gotten hit by weather. So we couldn't really dilly dally too much. We had a ton of parts to get out of the building. It was just. Joker says that Porsche 911 is amazing. I'm an air-cooled junkie myself. They sound really, really cool. I never thought I'd own them, quite honestly. And interesting. I don't want to spoil anything. There's some really, really interesting things about this car. For example, being able to find the original tool bag in the frunk. It has a frunk, guys. Frunk. So yeah, we have the original tool bag, and it even has an extra fan belt in there. And the crazy part about the car, right? It's from the original owner. And do I want a quick? They're just like telling me to have a coffee break. I just started. Why would I have a coffee break? That's weird. Um, but yeah, that was in the front, and it's all complete. It's from the original owner. He bought it in '68 down in Florida or Miami, Florida. It's actually I'm trying to think. It was Orange Motor of Miami, and I did some research. I did some research on the company. It was founded in 1959, and apparently the office was for selling Ferraris and like Dinos and Porsches and all this other stuff. Apparently, the showroom was a hot mess. Right, we're talking like buckets catching ceiling, dripping water type hot mess, selling exotic cars. And they would have like meetups and stuff like that. And apparently, the last meetup was in '79, which, according to like the urban legends about this place, got broken up by the ATF or whatever, and there was all drugs involved, like straight up like Scarface territory. It was wild. Um, didn't Ferris Bueller make? No, Bueller. That was I can't remember what kind of. I'm fairly confident that was. I can't remember what kind of Ferrari that was. Maybe a Ferrari California. Maybe it was. Oh, somebody. Bueller, Bueller, Bueller. Um, No. So, if memory serves me right, the short wheelbase long hood short wheelbase 65 or 67 Porsche was, why can't I think of his name? It was Steve McQueen. Steve McQueen drove a Porsche. It was a black one. If memory serves me correct, it was a black Porsche. 67. I think it was a 67. Someone please correct me if I'm wrong. I have a 92 VW Beetle here in Mexico with upgrades of a Porsche parts in my transmission. The engine, she's currently at 2100 horsepower, 2100 horsepower beast. Holy crap. That's wild. I don't know how you take an air cooled engine and get 2100 horsepower out of it. That's crazy. I thought 700 horsepower running through a Supra was crazy. But yeah, so I'm fairly confident Steve McQueen, the man, the myth, the legend, rocked a black Porsche. Maybe with it was a narrow body. Maybe it was a 71. I don't know. She's turboed. Big turbo. Um so yeah, we have vintage. If you guys are into vintage cars and you need a 6-volt conversion, this is not a sponsored plug, but they have been a sponsor and they're awesome. Jay's the person I deal with over at Vintage Auto Garage. Super awesome dude. Um, Everything I've gotten from him has been very high quality. Very happy with that. So big shout out to them. Optima Battery is one of our sponsors. They are now powering most of my vehicles. They're powering all my stepdad's vehicles long before I even reached out to them. Ah, there we go. Wood and Metal Garage, how you doing, man? Yeah, risky business with Cruise. What year was it? If someone could look up what year Steve McQueen or Porsche that Steve McQueen drove, that'd be spectacular. So now I'm curious. Um, but yeah, we have the flywheel, clutch, transmission, a bunch of extra parts. We're selling some of them, some of the extra parts on eBay to be able to offset the cost of these. In fact, one of the parts actually sold yesterday, and that got out there. So it came with a lot of cool things. So, and I'll go over this in the actual video when we do the video on the car. But the story on the Porsche was This gentleman bought it in 1968 down in Florida. I believe he was living down there at the time. He has the original license plate from Orange County, and super cool. Um, he eventually moved up north. He had it shipped here. He drove it all over the country. This little Porsche drove from 1968 to 1975 and accumulated over 80,000 miles, 82, 83,000 miles. So not a car that was baby. This thing was, in fact, on one of his trips back from Georgia, one of the race events, he had gotten a ticket for going about 140 miles per hour back in the 70s. So he got didn't get thrown in jail. But he was a little wild with that car, and it originally came in a specific color and painted it silver, which is the traditional race color for Porsche. Um, and then in '75, he wanted to hot rod. He wanted to make it go a little bit faster, and unfortunately, it kind of gotten blown apart. And then he got married. Um, Kids, life got in the way because I had some people say, "Oh, well, he let it get abused." Life gets in the way, guys. Sometimes just life gets in the way. And so it sat underneath the car cover. Why the paint was all burnt off of it and stuff like that. But let's see. Steve McLean's Porsche was a 1970 917K, according to Google. So that's a F platform. I think it was F platform, G platform, if I'm not mistaken. Mine is not an F platform or an F body. It is technically a 901. So from the film Le Mans, um, the 911 was never actually supposed to be 911. It was a 901, but the French car company Citroën, I don't know. I don't speak French. I'm not going to try to learn it, but they went after them for trademark infringement because they owned any car that has a 3 digits with a zero in the middle, because of course you can do that. God forbid. So it was the very first few cars that came out. They actually didn't have the badge at all on it. It was just Porsche, and then I gotta fix that. But above, it was a 901. They got in trouble for it, so it became a 911. So in 65, 66, 66, they had the 911 for 2 years off to the side of it, and then it went to the top. By the time mine was manufactured, it was on the top. So, and again, I'm the second owner. I'm the second owner of a classic Porsche. I cannot. The mind cannot wrap itself around itself fast enough to understand that, and it's been weeks. So, I also. So of course this all happened, and I was gearing up to start a whole series on the Supra, and because I need to fix the mess up that I made, and I'll do a video on that shortly. I completely butchered that project so that I could race Uncle Tony's garage in that call out, and that never happened. But I did drive the car for several years like that, and it ran fine, except for had no air conditioning. Overheated once I put the smaller pulley on it, because the water crossover tube I ordered from that company didn't work. It worked for getting if you're drag racing, it would have been fine. But 30 minutes on the highway, the water wasn't staying inside the engine long enough to actually extract the heat out of it. So the water was just flowing through. I tried a restrictor plate. I tried an external thermostat, and ultimately we're going back to an internal thermostat because that's how it's supposed to be. Whoa! So Wood and Metal Garage said that his 1970 Porsche 911S sold at auction for $1,375,000. Oh my goodness, that's wild. No, couldn't do it. Can't do it. Can't afford that. So my goal for this particular project is to get it running fairly quickly. I want to patch the floor. There's a couple spots in the floor. Specifically in the center, what I think happened is because it was all pulled apart, I think critters got up inside, which I'm worried that the shifting mechanism is going to be all screwed up. But critters got up inside the internal tunnel, made a nest, and it ate through in a couple spots in the middle. So we'll have to patch that up, and eventually I'd like to replace the whole floor. Let's see. And then we're going to drive it like that for a little while. I want to see exactly how it all feels, because my hope is, what is this? Add a question sticker. Food that's better. Homemade? Oh, sure. Answer it. I don't answer it. Answer. I don't know. Done. I don't know what this is. Comment in the section below. Food is better. Homemade? Um, YouTube, you're so weird. But yeah, we are going to eventually paint it, and we're going to paint it the original color. We're not going to go back to the silver. But let's see, Porsche project completed in the future, but I'm hoping you decide not painting it and maintaining the patina as. For the time being, I will maintain the patina because there's no rust really, except for on the hood. There's a dent in the driver's side fender, both right behind the wheel and right underneath the headlight. The patina is really cool, but maybe 10 years from now we'll put it back because there's a reason why. It's not just because we need to paint it because it's a Porsche, and I don't want to give that away yet. We'll cover that. What color it was originally and why that's significant. Okay. What's your question? What's your answer? How do I get rid of this thing? Drag and delete. Boop. Oh, that's kind of neat. What else can I do? YouTube has changed everything. I also got a new printer. Boop. I should run upstairs and get my water. But yeah, there's my my big boy printer. Huge. Can print material that's really cool. Okay, so you ready to see something really neat? We're going to try 3D printed engine mounts for the Supra. And if you want to see something really cool, we'll turn this light on. Whoop, turn this around. Whoop. Okay, so these right here, you can see, if I have another one around here somewhere. Okay, it's right here. So watch this. This is like standard 3D printed material. You can see the infill is different between this one and this one. See how much more is inside this one, right? But take this. This is the sound of normal plastic, right? Now listen to this. It's even better if we hold it. Let's see, turn this around. Right? It's normal plastic. This stuff. We're going to use this for the engine mount inside the Supra, just to see if it'll survive. Why not? I also 3D printed out the same material, the brackets for holding the radiator. So I don't think they're going to survive. They might survive. I know people are like, oh, it's not going to survive. We don't know until we try. You know what I mean? So yeah. Anywho, so what do you guys think? Should we do live streams on Saturdays? Probably around 9:30, 10 o'clock. We'll probably aim for maybe 10 o'clock start. Does that work for you guys? Works for me. Works for you. Everyone's copacetic, you know? But what else? I'm trying to think of anything else we could talk about other than snow. Snow. Snowmageddon. Getting 3 feet. I'll believe it when I'll see it. Look, it's a veritable valve oil thing from a 4200 Atlas engine. Because why not? Whoops. Now, if you guys are new to the channel and you happen to find the YouTube channel right now, we have a really cool product that is currently underneath the condenser thing for my air conditioning, and that's these things right here. They're Carb Buddies. All right, they have, you can put a hole in the center of them so that you can mount it on le carburetor. So you're working on your engine underneath the hood in a nice warm garage. You pop this sucker on there like that, and you can put a little bolt screw in there, and then look at that, nothing falls down inside the carburetor. And a little bowl. These are trademarked. Actually, they have successfully the dimensions of this and everything has been trademarked, and we're in the process. It's patent is going to be next. We're going through the whole process because they are hot. What is it? Hotcakes. They're going like hotcakes. We actually have a couple going out tomorrow in blue. Other than no, not tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday. Probably Tuesday because of the weather. But so, comment section down below. What do you guys think? What's some of your predictions about the Porsche? Are we going to be able to? Because currently we're missing some critical components for the engine. You know, slightly important things like the crankshaft and the connecting rods. They make actually you could still, oddly enough, you can still buy the crankshaft for that engine straight from Porsche. It's like $4,000, but you can. I don't want to, but you know you can pick up that crankshaft right from the old Porsche company. Uh, they actually have almost all the parts. You can get fenders for it. You can get hood for it. You know, you name it. Also, what do you think about the craziness of that one video, that short with my sunglasses? I just put them on my face. It's gotten like 27 million views. I can't even believe that. I don't know. What do you do with that? I mean, you don't make much money on it, but because YouTube is, you know, it's a short. But. I don't know who else is left in here. I'm curious in the comment section right here as it's reading. What projects are you working on this winter? Because the winter time is the perfect time to work on your cars. Are you working on your daily? Are you working on your next daily? Are you working on a race car? Are you working on a restoration? Comment section down below. What are some of the things you're building right now? Very curious. Also, Dewey Kep. What is it like to race a rear engine vehicle? I don't know if the placement of the Volkswagen Beetle engine is the same way as the Porsche as far as how far back they put it over the rear axle. But what is it like? Yeah, because says you guys are about the only people commenting here. Oh, listen, Colleen, I hear you. Colleen says not a dang thing because she's got an open carport at the moment. Fortunately, my Supra is in the garage. Unfortunately, so isn't the entire interior for the Supra. For the Supra, for the square body, my Bowman's tractor. There's a lot in my garage, so I don't really have the ability to have a lot of room. But we can at least wrench on the Supra, and then the once I get a little bit more prepared. Hopefully, we can move the Porsche from my house to potentially my mom's, where my lift is. We can throw the Porsche on the lift and go from there. Um, we are going to need to lift the car up to put the engine up inside. That's a critical component. So currently, we're missing. I have a couple broken timing gear things or components, or timing components that are broken that I need to replace. You know, fortunately, things are kind of expensive, but not ungodly expensive. So those cogs are like $300 for the pair of them. I only need one, but if you're gonna replace one, you might as well replace two. Um, We're missing the crankshaft connecting rods. We have the pistons. We have the cylinders. We have the block. We have actually I don't know if you call it a block, but it's two hats together like a coconut. We have an ungodly amount of spare parts, including like six Solex carburetors, which are like gold. So fortunately, we sell those. That will offset the costs pretty dramatically on our project here. And if you guys want to support this project, you can always buy. Currently, just have stickers. I'm hoping to expand the things that we're selling, other than just like the Carb Buddy, and I think some other small knick-knacky things. But I would really like shirts. Oh, speaking of things, how do you guys like the new logo? For rear-engine race cars, I've seen VWs adapt with small wheelie. Oh yeah, I was more worried about like it wanting to, you know, rotate. But yeah, putting roll anti-roll, not roll, wheelie bars on it. Contraptions that were welded on the back so that the car doesn't flip over. Especially with the Volkswagen Beetle, you imagine that thing would kind of want to do somersaults. Greeting from the Dominican Republic. How you doing? I'm currently building a 86.5 Mark III Toyota Supra with a stock 1UZ engine. Any suggestions in regards of the engine mounts? Yes. So the problem you have is it's an 86.5, and the engine mounts that I have, I can't send you the designs for them because it won't help you. The 86.5 up to 89.5 has a different location for the engine mounts. Your engine mounts are square, my engine mounts are round. My recommendation is to reach out to superstore.com, email Lonnie over there, and talk to Lonnie. He is awesome. I've known him since probably 2008-ish. I've been working on these things for specifically Toyota Supras for 20, I think we're going on 23 years. And I've known him since like I said, like 08, 09. He's helped me with my blue Super project, my black Super project, the red Super project. Not the red Super that's here, but the red Super that my wife only remembers as being completely dismantled and eventually sold as scrap. That was a long time ago, like a very long time ago. But yeah, he has engine mounts from the 1UZ to 86.5 to 89.5. Now, I don't know exactly how his fit as far as the actual fitment, like the location. I built mine with the engine mounted to the R154 transmission, set it to where I wanted it to be as close to the front subframe as possible, and I welded those up. In fact, where are they? There they are. So these, and I'm going to have aluminum ones made up too. And they're not pretty, but they were on the car for 2.5 years. So these were my engine mounts. Literally just a 3/4 inch plate, hardened plate steel, and roll cage material. That's all you need. It held it together. I've had people say these are going to break automatically. These have been on there for 2.5 years. And I'm going to be trying out these right here, and I'm going to have aluminum ones made exactly the same. But currently, I have an ABS set on the car. That won't survive. They're just holding the engine upright. What's up, Captain? Captain in the house. I need to go get water shortly. I'm going to knock that crankshaft over. Yeah, that's... What crankshaft is that? Oh, that's got a tag on it. So, this room, you might assume it's in the basement, so it's wet. It's not. This room is climate controlled. It's been climate controlled because this is where I keep... This is a 7M GTE. That's a 440. That's my 440 big block, which was in a bag that I just took it off. I'm going to put that bag right back on it. That's been cut. Let's see. Let me turn that around for a second. So this was cut and drilled. It was there's our specifications for our bearing surfaces, and they are covered with all kinds of oil to keep it safe. This is a 340 crank. That's an LS crank. Which one is that one? That's not an LS crank. What is that? Nope, that is not an LS crank. I don't know what that. I don't. Oh, that's a 440 crank as well, right? Is that the? Yeah, that's a 440 crank as well. But I have 3 LS cranks down here somewhere. So that's a 440, that's a 440, that's a 340. On the other side of this room here, we have, let's flip this over so you can see. Underneath there, we have another flathead 6 for the DeSoto. That right there is a Atlas 4200. That is going to be a 1500 horsepower LS engine with the Edelbrock cross ram. And I actually may have a partner for this right here. So this may be going together sooner rather than later, like within the next couple months. And then we can switch that out in the Buick. This is one of the spare 1UZ engines with our water crossover tube for that's made out of aluminum and designed to work on the factory bosses and stuff. This thing bolts right in. I'm like super proud of this thing right here. This took like 6 months to design. I wanted to avoid turbulence, and you can't really see it because I have it all bolted together. But this right here has a radius on the inside, so as the water approaches here, we're not creating turbulence, which would create cavitation. We don't want cavitation forming around the edges of the thing because not only does it damage it, but it would also cause issues for our sensors. And then we have the water goes in here and comes back out of here, and there's a Porsche thermostat sitting right there, obviously for a water-cooled Porsche. And it's got Audi R8 coil on plugs, a bunch of other stuff. That's my Buick 455. That is just needs heads at this point. That's all put together pretty much. That's our Hemi, which needs, well, that also needs heads, which those heads are pretty much worth as much as all these engines combined. And all the way over on that side right there is a Buick 350. Buick 350, big block, 1UZ crank. Let's see. Hey gang, oh, are those 3D printed aluminum? Yeah, so this right here is 3D printed aluminum using a SLM process rather. This came from a company I just partnered with. I've had them manufacture a bunch of stuff for me in the past, and I really like their customer service, which is wild to me that, they're literally on the other side of the world, but I can have a conversation through their little chat function in real time, and they have phenomenal customer service. It's called PCB Way. They produce everything from like electronic PCB boards to you can have titanium 3D printed from them. So this is using like a sand, like aluminum sand that uses lasers and it makes it. And it's almost as strong as like machined, but you can make more complex shapes than you can with, say, casting. It's a lot less expensive for casting as far as like one-off things. Like if you're doing like 100,000 of these, you have them cast 100%. But because we're not, these are super one-offs. I'll probably sell 3 of these this year. These are just other than that. And the cool thing is, like, again, you see down in there, if you look at, this is the water crossover tube that I had on the engine out in the garage for 2 years, right? That was, because people said this, like, for how much I charge for these, they're like, they're too expensive. I can make it cheaper. This is what cheaper looks like. This whole kit was like $800. This kit's $1,200. This comes with a thermostat housing, and adapters made out of 6061 T4 aluminum, both the outlet as well as the inlet. It comes with the bypass tube, and these are drilled for your sensors, or they can be not drilled. It depends on what you want. And it comes with other things too. But this right here, you can see this is just flat. And if we look on top of the Porsche engine, because I was doing a little video on this, these are the shims that they send with it so that you can actually bolt it into the engine. This is manufactured in such a way that if you can see down inside there, you don't have to. I don't know if I can put the flash on. There you go. Yeah, see? They are designed to fit just like, now how do I unzoom? Just like the god-awful, ugly factory water crossover tube. Very similar to that. And this is Toyota's design, and that's my design. Months into that. So yeah, if you're wondering why I'm showing that off so much, I'm very proud of that. It took me 6 months to make. let's see. Thanks for following, or thanks. Followed your 1UZ video. You made it seem so easy, but I'm pulling my hairs off. You can email me, LunarOutlaw. You can go to LunarOutlaw.com. I'll be offering a lot more parts available for it over the next couple of months. Maybe, you know, by, as I design them, I have to balance a bunch of things. I'm homeschooling my kids. Let's see, I'm homeschooling the kids. We're dealing with a situation that I brought up the other day. Rather not bring it up again right at this moment. So yeah, we have products I'm designing, products I'm fulfilling. Like I said, I had a couple of these going out tomorrow or Monday or Tuesday, depending on the weather. These are one of our hottest sellers. A couple of super parts are also pretty common, like the Thames block off is like my big seller on eBay. I'm still cataloging the parts I got with the Porsche, but it's not super hard. I have faith in you. I have faith in you. Let's see. Steady Eddie, my buddy Steady Eddie, he's doing some like God's work here. He's the one that got me into drones. He very early on. You can see any drone footage for like the Cadillac. I think he did some drone footage for my Supra. Can't remember. Maybe it was the Buick. It was the Buick. That was Steady Eddie, and he sets up really cool events, teaches people how to use the drones, races drones, like going like Mach Jesus. And recently, I've been watching some of his videos where he got multiple new licenses, including being able to use the drone out of sight, out of line of sight, and he has one that has infrared, and he can track people's dogs that are or animals that are lost. Especially right now with how cold it is, he's been doing some pretty amazing things. So if you could do me a favor, head over to Steady Eddie's YouTube channel and hit him a follow there. Let's see, Captain says can't beat metal on engineers. I think I know what you mean by that, but yes. Crockpot, Crockpot broccoli. That's a good name. I like it. That's cool. This stream format is cancer. Though I don't necessarily. I'm 50-50 here. I don't really care. This format right here, if you're on a computer, is going to be really annoying. I I asked Google which one is supposed to be better these days. I haven't done a live stream probably like 2 years when everything kind of hit the fan. Maybe 3. I can't remember. It was really past. It's been kind of hard to keep track of things, but I don't disagree. I don't necessarily like it. I feel like I'm squished like a bug in a rug, squished like a little tiny bean. Or I have like big shoulders, like I don't know, neck. Uh, Wood Metal Garage says very nice, and also I just saw that you made a comment on a video. Thank you very much. God bless you as well, my friend. Captain Dew says here in South Tennessee is under a ice storm crisis until tomorrow night at 6 p.m. We're not going to start until tomorrow at 10. And there are numbers saying that we're going to get, I don't know, 20-ish inches to now possibly over 3 feet. So I don't know. The cold is over. Like I woke up this morning and it was allegedly like, I don't know, -14 or something stupid outside. I don't know. Not fun. The last time I really worked on stuff outside that was really, really cold was with Auto Auction Rebuilds. He had a car up here called the Green Goblin. It was a Buick LeSabre. And it was like super cold out, and I worked to get it done, and my fingers, I didn't have to, but I just wanted to do some extra stuff for him. Not asked to, you know, and my fingers just, it was really cold. And that was kind of, that combined with when I pulled an engine out at like -15 degrees, between that and that, my hands just don't like to work out in the cold anymore. They just don't want to start. We have Popsicle, the newest edition. He's my shop cat. What up, buddy? Yourself. He's probably like, He eats more, he'll be a ball. He's huge. He's trying to figure out how to get to me. You should see how big this dude is. Monster. Let's see. Steady Eddie says, I don't like the vertical thing either, but we have to experiment a little bit. A little for the shorts. Love the... Yeah, I love the right way back. I like the... I think we're going to probably stick with it going the other direction. I was just curious. Again, I haven't done lives in a hot minute. And I don't really know. But the other cool thing is I would like to... I have a laptop down here. And for doing like... Originally for programming computers inside cars. So like the Haltech or the HP tuners. It's how I tuned cars. Now it does a lot more work shipping stuff. So my shipping station is over there. And so yeah, I think we could probably go live through that. It was like a $400 laptop 4 years ago, 3 years ago. So it's not amazing. Can't use it for the 3D scanning. I have to use my my wife's laptop or my desktop for that. So do I have anything cool right behind me? Zip ties. We sell block off plates. I'll never find that bolt. I have no idea where that just went. So, little poll. Let's see. How do I do polls? Questions and answers. That is not what that is. Poo. You tell me in the little comment section here. What do you think? Horizontal, vertical live streams. Go. Orange cats I got over here. 2 grown male tomcats, 1 young female kitten, all fully orange tights. This is Popsicle. He's my dude. Follows me around like a lost puppy. He is an absolute monster. Whoop, there we go. So this is my hand compared to him. He's quite large. Not in charge. He's like the most pushover cat of all time. Meh. He's a good dude though. Like he's a super good dude. He's super scared of our tiny other kitty, although she's not really tiny. He's just like, no, don't kill me. And even though he's twice her size. And he has a little gray on his face that's actually just his skin coloring and not a scar or something. He's decided to face the other way. Got to see it though. See, look at that. That's his skin color. And I have a picture of him hanging out with a tomcat. Bobcat, not a tomcat, a bobcat. That word, you know. Tom, Bob. All right, guys. Labrador Labs or black labs are awesome dogs. I've never had a black lab. We had a German Shepherd and a Doberman Pinscher, and but my uncle has always had black labs, and they're always great dogs. They're like skinny, and then they become balls. I think they just need it. Like his actually were pretty good. He took them to like the rivers and stuff, so they were always having exercise. Oh, here's something cool. And we're going to be experimenting with this. This is a product I designed a long time ago. Yeah, I've never sold it. And there's a reason why I haven't sold it, and that's because I haven't tested it yet. And I need to refine it a little bit, I think. I've changed how I do certain things. So this right here, I can't show you because it's over there. Yeah. But this right here is a thing that you can mount to the camshaft, right? The camshaft block off on an LS. So you mount these on here. There's a little spot right here, and it sits on the plate, the front casting. And then this you use for a hole punch, right? You put the hole punch in, and it holds it exactly for where you need to be. Then, I'll show you that in a second. You take the drill bit, which is not in here, and that just fell off the bottom of it. Then you drill and tap those for this thing right here, which, if you aren't aware of how LS engines come to you from the factory, the 3rd generation LSs do not come with a tensioner, or a guide, I should say a guide tensioner for your timing chain, right? So I was like, well, how do I put this on the third gen? Because if you're doing something like, I don't know, 500, 3 to 400 horsepower, you don't. This isn't like, you don't really need it. But anything 500 plus, it's really good to have a timing chain tensioner and guide. So this right here gets mounted into a third gen, and this is a fourth gen tensioner. So everything stays exactly the same, but you use this. You bolt this to the actual engine block, and then you knock and you drill the holes, and then this will then bolt onto the engine block where your timing chain goes. And we will be using this when we do our 13 to 1500 horsepower engine build. Hopefully, we lock down that sponsor, and we get to have a really fun time with that. Let's see. Seems like you should put that box in the Buick or the square body LS. So the square body doesn't have an LS. It has a big block LS, but the square body has an 8.1 liter Vortec, which is a Gen 7 big block. I've had people say it's a terrible engine because it can't take RPMs. From the factory, it can't take RPMs. That's like saying that a Cummins can take RPMs. It's designed for low-end torque. It's meant for pulling things. So the Buick, my plan for the Buick is I was going to sell it. And then a company said, hey, I want to have that in a movie for a kid that's learning how to drive in 1983. And I'm like, that's perfect. I have license plates from that exact time period that look like they're brand new. And the car looks far less than brand new. And it's very accurate to what something a kid would be driving in 73. And it's not really badly worn, just has some wear on it, some paint issues, which is pretty accurate for a car that's, 13 years old. Not, I don't think there's any galvanization in that metal. So I think it's very appropriate. So hopefully that all works out. And I'm like, it's like divine intervention. I was going to sell it, and 2 days later, someone's like, hey, I need that car for a movie. I'm like, okay. Now I got to figure out how else I'm going to afford to rebuild a Porsche, because I was actually going to use that to build that. But the Lord provides us with what we need, and that's the way I look at it, and that's how we'll do it. But then after I took the listing down for the Buick, someone else reached out to me saying, "Hey, it's a company I didn't seek out, so this is going to be interesting. But if it works out, we get 2 turbos, which we'll need. I have the engine block, 823 heads. On my list of parts, it includes like beefed up valve train, uh, a stage two, sloppy cam, timing, water pump, oil pump, high flow oil pump, bearings, gaskets, front and rear covers, you name it, like everything you need to put an engine back together, more or less. I'll have to look. I don't think it has cam bearings in it. I think I had the cam bearings pulled. The engine was machined, and not machined. It was like verified that everything was within tolerances. The cylinders, you can still see the cross hatching. So all I'm going to do is just a quick dingleberry hone in it, just knock any surface that's left in it out, put new rings in it. Connecting rods, I asked for H-beam connecting rods. Although I feel pretty comfortable with the Gen 4 connecting rods. These are pretty hefty, and yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how well it works out. And it's cool. The cool thing is all the parts that I ordered are obtainable as far as price for anyone. So it's not like we're going for a major company that sells, you know, connecting rods for like $1,200. These things are like $500 connecting rods. So this may be spectacular. Well, it's going to be spectacular no matter what. And I'm willing to sacrifice a 6.0 LS block to do the test for you guys. It very well may turn out wicked cool, in which case you can build a 1300 horsepower LS twin turbo with the turbo kits for less, like half as much. So I just got a supercharger for the Supra. So that's a good deal. A movie. Oh, so Captain says a movie, huh? You should be in it. I would love to be in it. I don't know. I've often said if I was ever like, there's only one role I really want to play, and that is I would love to play the Joker. That is the perfect role for me. I'd love to play the Joker. Best supervillain of all time. I'm not even a DC guy. Don't even like DC. Iron Man. I love Iron Man. Marvel's like, well, new Marvel stuff sucks, but old Marvel, which is crazy to think that's old. The stuff I grew up in college in and going out like well into, I think the first movie came out when I was out of college. It was right at the edge of college. I don't know, but yeah. So yeah, I'd be down for going in a movie, especially if I was playing a supervillain, preferably the Joker. Uh, Mostly because I think that every single Joker that's been in a movie lately sucks, and just Jack Nicholson is the peak Joker, Because I'm chock full of nuts and bolts. What is this from? What is? Oh, Hemi parts. Hemi parts. Listen, I want to know, what part is this? Someone tell me what part this is. I know what it is. Do you know what it is? It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are? What is this? Anybody? Caesar Romero. What Joker was he? I don't know what the. Yeah, so I'll give you a hint. There's more than one. One. Two. Three. Four. What is that? Oh, screwdriver. Nobody's guessed what these are yet. Oh, he was the '60s Joker. Okay, that was the old. That was the Adam West one. That was a hot minute ago. Those were funny. See, I like those because they were very comic booky. And then like you have the Jared Leto is horrible. He's been in stuff lately that's just really. So yeah, what are these? Anybody? Bueller. What are they? I have like bugles here. Freddy Cougar hands. They are shiny sleeves that go into Steady Eddie. They are the spark plug tube. They go down through the valve cover, and that's what these are for. And they are shiny. Yes, I threw them on my lathe and I brightened them up. It was a long time ago. Someday, I would love to be able to finish putting together that Hemi. It's just the last time I saw this was pre-COVID costs. Each head, because the heads are junk, they are. So that Hemi had to be knocked apart with a sledgehammer. Each piston was so seized into that the sleeves. So the 331 Hemi can be bored 160, 120. Could be bored 120. They are bored 60 over, which gives me, if I have to cut it, I can cut it again. Steady Eddie, you know where I live. You can swing by anytime. You won yourself a car buddy. I'll give you one. I got you, bud. So yeah, what is it? Yeah, so it's $3,200 a head, right? And that's just the head. I have $1,400 in just the pistons, and I have another $2,000 in machine work on the block. And it's, again, this area here is, I have a huge dehumidifier going. Especially in the winter, it is like, the winter it's super dry down here because the furnace just sucks the moisture out of the air. I think currently our moisture is like 15 or 20%. It's low. In fact, the moisture is so low in the house. Um, I have to like humidify the upstairs. But yeah. So we have machine work done on the block. I need to get. I have. No, I need to get a. I need all the valve train stuff. I need the heads. $3,200 for assembled heads each, not a pair. So yeah, you want to build a Hemi? It's big money. It's so much money. That being said, I have to build a Porsche now. Porsche, Porsche. But I'm really excited about that. Worst case scenario, as long as we don't do anything to damage the car, there's all kinds of engines we can stuff inside there. I'm not doing an LS swap. I had someone tell me to do an LS swap, and I am not doing an LS swap. First off, no. Second off, I don't want to die. Those things had 170 horsepower from the factory, right? They already want to kill you. You put an LS in there, you're going to add a massive amount of weight, and that just will just the engine, right? Want to see something really cool? Let's turn you guys around here if I get through here. This engine right here is made out of aluminum magnesium alloy. It weighs really nothing at all. Maybe I would be surprised if this weighs 20 pounds. Just that, right? This is a fraction of the weight of an aluminum 5.3 LS that you see right there. Oh, there's the fuel tank. We got that repaired for the DeSoto. Big shout out to my really good buddy. He was down, actually, that was done a little while ago, and he's going to be probably also digging me out. So, big shout out to Rich Diaz. You are the man, the myth, the legend. You're the man. So, yeah, I need to go get water. Captain Dew. They are the overhead plugs for the Hemi, 100%. Did I tell you about the Porsche tool bag behind my head? So we have a lot of things to do. I'm finally feeling good about being back in the game now. It was a long time coming. I'm really excited. I'm hoping you guys are excited. I'm really glad for the guys that came out here, whether it was Steady Eddie, Captain Dew, Colleen. Colleen's been actually pretty much everyone here tonight has been a longtime subscriber. Yeah, I'm not seeing a name here that hasn't. Well, there's a couple. There's a couple people that are newer to the channel, but still been around for a while. And I really appreciate you all. I really do. And I really appreciate you bearing with me as I got through the past couple years. And we're looking at a spectacular 2026, guys. You know, we have got a lot of work to do. We got to paint the square body once the weather gets warm. That's pretty much ready to go, but I can't reassemble the interior because it's in my carport. If I reassemble the interior before I put the windows back in, then critters and moisture will destroy the interior. So once we get nice weather, we'll put paint on the truck, we'll put the windows in, and we'll reassemble the interior, and we will have a 496 cubic inch power plant backed by an Allison 1000 transmission that will be able to pull my house off the foundation. It'll be a beautiful red with a black bottom little section. It's going to be two, well, technically three, because it's going to be the red from the factory, black on the bottom, and then we're going to have a color to break up the two. So it's going to be great. It's going to be spectacular. We're going to have the Supra back to regular road capabilities instead of just. It's still going to have 17 pounds of boost at 6,500 RPMs and 20 pounds of boost at 8,000 RPMs. Except for I don't know if I'm really going to push it to 8,000 RPMs anymore. I don't really see a reason to do that. Joe Cap says he's been subscribed since AutoWalks Rebuilds gave me. That was a while ago, actually. How long? So, okay, Sam and Dean were. 2. So that means you've been following the channel for 5 years. Pretty awesome. Thank you very much. Captain Do says 2026 better be better than the last year. It's last year wasn't terrible. It was the year before that that was terrible. It's taken me a while to, deal with that. And Mr. Wilburn, Mr. John Wilburn. So okay, John Wilburn, can you? I sent you the invite. Can you still come in or no? Does that work? I don't know how this works. Boop. Nope. I want to try this out real quick. Hold on. Okay, I just sent you a link. I'm gonna be right back. I need to go get my water. There we go. So this is Vault-Tec. I had this since the 4th game came out. The newest season is mid-core at best. I filled this up, put it on the counter, and then forgot it upstairs. Oh, question. While I was walking up there, I had just a little quick question. Yeah? So I'm thinking Saturdays at 10, but would you guys be opposed if I just do random live streams throughout the week as well? Just at random times. Could be late, could be early, could be middle of the day. Just if I feel like turning on the camera. Oh, Mr. Woodburn says he's not able to do the live right now, but I appreciate the invite. Not a problem, buddy. No worries. One of the things I would like to do, see, here's the thing, right? The whole go live together thing only works in this format, which I think is an unfortunate thing. Because, right, I don't know how you should drink 7-Up. I drink water. Lots of water. Also, Sprite. McDonald's Sprite specifically, I don't know what it is about it, but it hits differently. I don't even like McDonald's food, but their Sprite, good. But yeah, I would like to start doing collaborative live streams again. I had a lot of fun when I had John here. I had Calvin from Cartoon New Zealand on here. We could have Steady Eddie on here. Anyone that wants to join, we can figure out how to make this thing work. I don't have to talk to John. John does a very good job on his live streams when he gets people in and out of there. He uses, I don't know, John, what's live streaming service do you use? Something with a duck. I can't remember. But yeah, if I can get my computer working, we can do simultaneous live streams on Instagram, TikTok here, and that would be cool. I would be probably confused as hell. I would really. I have a drag boss on Friday. StreamYard. I use StreamYard. So okay, John. I'll have to pick your brain on it. Can you use DaVinci Resolve's Black Magic with StreamYard? So I know DaVinci Resolve Black Magic can run. I think it can also run on its own. I don't know. I have to do a little bit more research. But the cool thing about DaVinci Resolve is then I could have multiple cameras, and I could have people here, which right now would not be particularly conducive because what was my coffee table, the glass is over there, the engine's over there, and there's now I don't know how, but I have more cubic inches of Porsche parts than there is of a Porsche. Makes no sense to me. Yeah, somehow parts of Porsche equals larger than Porsche. Also, I had an issue with my furnace, my 7-year-old furnace from York, brand freaking new, 208 1,000 BTU. Yeah, I've had to rebuild it twice this winter. Yeah, and the 3-ton AC component is sitting right next to me. Yeah, York. That's terrible. Wilburn says, I can help you test. StreamYard lets you have multiple cameras and guests and such. See, the key part is it lets you do guests. I don't think Blackmagic's like when I was doing I'm not doing video production for Hemmings anymore. I have some other side gigs here and there, but my goal right now is pretty much homeschooling the kids and here making car parts. So between making videos, car parts, and you know teaching the kids how to do math, science, English, and all that. They're doing really well. They're in first grade now. We're just finishing up the second quarter. I think next Saturday is the end of the second quarter, which is crazy. And I'm very proud of them. They are very smart. If that is a blue. What is it? Is that a blue shark, buddy? What's in this box? What's in this? Oh, okay. Nope, it's just a block off plate. I thought this was a box with the blue car buddy. There's one right there. Those are not Tuesday. Sorry. It's like, what is that? But it's like squirrel. Anyways, but yes, the cool thing about Blackmagic is you can do like sound levels and it's professional grade. So I've gotten really heavily invested into DaVinci Resolve. I started learning how to use DaVinci Resolve in 2019, and between 2019 and whenever I started producing for Hemmings, I was really gotten really good at it. So I don't want to learn anything new. DaVinci Resolve is a very good program. You can also if you're starting out YouTube or anything and you want to edit your own videos, you can get the free version of DaVinci Resolve, and it's very strong. It doesn't have all the capabilities of the full version, but if you want to throw $280 at DaVinci Resolve, you own the rights to it, for your computer for the rest of the life of that computer, right? So, and all of the updates. So when I got DaVinci Resolve, I think I was on 17, and now I'm on like 22, version 22. So it's not like every year they come out with a new version and they stop, honoring your old one. It's not a service where you have to pay like Autodesk. What is that? No, Adobe Premiere, where you have to pay yearly, all that stuff. Nope, this is a one-time job and you're done. It's yours forever. And the cool thing about that is there's a ton of support for it. There's free components. There's stuff you can pay for. I mean, Marvel Studios uses it, so it's a pretty good software. You got me started with the Resolve. It's amazing. I don't know if it allows live streaming. I'm pretty sure you'd be wanting to play with the OBS full featured everything. So the way you have to use DaVinci Resolve for streaming is through DaVinci Resolve Blackmagic, and then it's a whole setup. I'm 99% positive that Timcast and Louder with Crowder uses DaVinci Resolve's Blackmagic for their live streaming, because I've seen like sneak peeks around what they're doing, and it definitely looks like it's the Blackmagic. It's a little bit tricky to use without the peripheral components, but if you have, like, when I do editing on my computer, I have my keyboard, which is a 2014. I have a phenomenal, like, monster computer running a 5090 or 4090 graphics card. So thing's a monster, but I'm still using keyboards and peripherals from 2014 because the new stuff sucks. But it's got a ton of programmable components, and then I got a gaming handpad thing that I just programmed for just for editing, and that gives me a ton of shortcuts. And then I have a bunch of buttons on my Razer Naga. ATEM hardware Perhaps. Yeah, it's very possible. I've not dug into Black Magic. Black Magic is more for like broadcast studio stuff. Um, and I'm working on. So I have the R6. I'm working on getting potentially a C70 and an Osmos 3 because pretty much all of my no, not pretty much all of my GoPros, my action cameras are GoPro 7s. So my cameras, my R6 is pretty good. The C70 will be nice because then I can have two high-end cameras at different spots that will help with, say I'm filming with the Porsche and I need to go and I start to ramble, which I do all the time. Listen, and I get it. I talk so much that I actually start to ignore myself. I forget I'm talking. Like right now, probably, whatever. But um, but putting a second camera that has the same lens ratio and, or I should say, the same lens, I could put a different focus on it, so the coloring is going to be pretty easy to match. Whereas you could tell the difference between when I'm filming with my R6 or the C70 when I was filming at Hemmings, and when I'm filming with my iPhone, I can get those pretty close. The field of depth with the iPhone is just crap. Anyone that tells you can get the same effects with an iPhone compared to a high end lens, like you can't. Um, so if you want to be able to have the full field of depth, you want it to have like immersion. It's just you don't get that with smaller. Like my drone compared to Steady Eddie's drone, he's got a bigger camera on it, significantly bigger than mine. Whereas my drone is the Mini 4, and you can tell things are a lot more flat. When you get my GoPros, though, I DaVinci Resolve can snap fix the fisheye, no problem. But the coloring is way off. And at this point, those things are wicked old. They're heavily abused. I started out with one, worked my way up to four, sent one to Just Mopar Joe, as a thank you for hosting me and bought me lunch and everything. So it was a nice little stop off on my trip up to from Texas with the Buick. So I sent him one of those. So then I was down to three, and then I sacrificed one of my GoPros to the oopsie daisy fall off car run over shenanigans. The SD card was fine, but anywho, so yeah, I need to kind of fix it, update my cameras. Not necessarily be able to afford it, but um, I can't really rely on my GoPros anymore. They are the batteries last like 10 minutes. It's terrible. I've rambled. I've rambled a lot right now, and I think it's time for me to go to bed. But we're going to see live streams every Saturday, and sometimes sporadically through the night, each night, not every night, some nights. Oh, it's 15% humidity down here. All right, guys, you have yourselves a wonderful night. Keep your shiny side up, and as always, God bless. I don't know how to. There we go.